Hi, and welcome to Game 4 of the UK HADO National HADO Leagues being held here at HADO in Coventry. From round 2 of the leagues from February. Getting ready for this game, which is going to be Synergy on red versus Rock Hoppers on blue. As ever with League, this follows our 7-game format. If you want to know more about how the league works, how those games function, everything else, please check out our video that goes through them in more depth, telling you how different elements of each round of the match go. Right, let's watch some HADO. So we've got Synergy on red and Rock Hoppers on blue. Obviously starting off with our 3v3 freestyle. Straight firepower builds there from both sides. Tiny little variation there between Rock Hoppers, but not much more than that. First 2 points there, really early on board from Rock Hoppers. Early reply from Synergy. So just 1 point in it. 25 seconds played. Synergy getting pushed back towards the back wall there. Pushed back onto the centre line. Rock Hoppers really holding out really well though. Making Synergy seriously work for it and put themselves at risk in order to try and do so, and that's now another point for Rock Hoppers. Synergy getting pulled right from the centre line into crossfire in order to try and get those points to try and pull this game back. Still only 1 point on the board for Synergy. Rock Hoppers now extend their lead to 5 points. 20 seconds remaining, 4 point lead here for Synergy to try and close. 3 points, 2 points now. We've seen these sorts of leads closed in these last 15 seconds, but still a tough one to do. 2 points, 1 point, 5 seconds to go. And that is a win in game 1 of the series to Rock Hoppers. So it gets game 1 there to Rock Hoppers. Again, general spread across both teams there. Good play all round fundamentally. Some very good evasion from Rock Hoppers on the back line. They're really holding Synergy's point score down for a good chunk of the game there. What happened?
They had a break. That's my ex. No, this was our back-to-back, so it was we were already warmed up. We should have been on form, but again, Rock Hoppers come in with force, taking full advantage of it, and they're getting that first early point lead, doubling up on that lead, and once you start, you've really got to start fighting back to get that.
Yeah. Once the momentum starts to go against you, it is difficult to pull it back
massively.
And watching you guys getting pushed back, and then yourself having to stepping up towards that centre line, desperately trying to put the pressure in. There's so much firepower going into that rear left player, and it's all three of you throwing shots into him there, and he's just bouncing around the whole lot.
Very good at dodging.
Incredibly good evasion. Really good shield positioning there in the centre line as well to just break up your flow as you're trying to fight back. Basically forced you into quite an exposed position in that front corner there where they managed to earn a point from you.
Chipping away slowly.
Slowly chipping away, and the fight back's happening, but they are really making you work for it and really make yourselves put yourselves into risky positions in order to get close enough to land those hits.
Not enough time.
No. Really nice play there from Rock Hoppers. So game 2. So scale 1. It's all about the accuracy. Comparable builds both sides. You guys have stepped up the speed a little bit more now, gone to speed 5, and they are to charge it again for that sort of control roll. So 1 point apiece, 20 seconds played. Everyone's slowly getting worn down. The fewer life markers remaining on the Synergy side than the Rock Hopper side at this point. Coming towards the halfway mark. 2nd point on board now for Rock Hoppers. And a 3rd. So Rock is now a 2-point lead. This game mode is difficult when you're playing starting getting a lead. It's so much lower point scoring. Nice shield positioning there. Again, those nice shields that are dropping, just breaking up the flow every time the counter-attack starts to gain momentum. And those, they're difficult enough to hit when you had scale 2 and 3 shots, but scale 1 shots against their dodging is going to be extremely challenging. They're doing similar to before, forcing you guys to forcing Zenji up towards the centre line to try to land hits, because with distance they're just not landing, and then they're taking advantage. You move up onto the centre line in order to take the points from you. So it's first 2 games of the series now. 2 Rock Hoppers looking to be in a very strong position. Again, nice play all the way around there. If anything, the only person who went wrong for there was Shimai. Somehow with a 2.2% accuracy rate. So I mean, I know he's not here to answer for himself, but something didn't work there, did it?
I think both teams playing against that back wall again. It's chipping away. Who can get that first point? And look at that, Rock Hoppers focusing the same player, taking that lead within the first 10 seconds.
Yeah,
it's now forcing my team, Synergy, to step up and go, well, you need to step it up now.
Yeah,
because they're going to increase that lead.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is they're happy to stay on that back wall and they're comfortable in their evasion skills. And it seems to be forcing you guys to have to move up towards the centre to land hits on them.
Yes.
And in doing so, you put yourself at just so much more risk, which is allowing them to land those hits and earn those points. Because the moment one of you moves forward, they're all turned to fire.
Yes.
On that player that sort of closed distance and therefore lost their dodging space.
It's around this sort of time I'm looking at the top of the screen, noticing we've got 20 seconds to go, doing call outs to the teams going, you need to step it up. Luckily Shimai was there, but to not get a kill.
Yep.
Good position on shield.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I'd say, yeah. I mean, they were definitely they were focus firing as you moved up onto the front line, and Shimai was getting drawn up onto that front line quite regularly, and therefore running into that focus fire each time. So coming 2 games down, moving into game 3, so 2v2 freestyle. Shimai and Neha pairing for Synergy, and Swift and Slander there for Rock Hoppers. Slender definitely had a couple of rocky first games in his matches during the tournament, but since then has powered back in and more than made up for those slightly rocky earlier games. So single point lead here, 2 point lead now, coming up on the halfway mark. Lots of nice motion across the court from both teams. Rock Up is still playing much more on that back line though. Seem to clump together a bit, which we've not seen from them before. They tend to be a bit more separated than that. But Sinji don't seem to be able to take advantage of it in any meaningful way. Try and get shots in from different angles. Get a lot of movement together, a lot of clumping there from Rock Hoppers, which is generally a really massive disadvantage to the teams when they start getting too close together. It means your opponent's just got to fire towards the block and decide to hit something useful. And that is the first game win in this series for Synergy, taking that 7 points to 5 against Rock Hoppers. So it's currently 2-1 in favour of Synergy, in favour of Rock Hoppers.
I wished it was in favour of Synergy. No, they're proving to do really, really good. Putting those 2 shields at the end of that game, as we'll see in the replay shortly, proved essential.
Yep. But yeah, nice accuracy, nice movement all round. So let's talk through on the replay on this one then. So again, we're seeing this. They're definitely linking onto the back wall. There are a couple of points, and Shimano don't seem to take advantage of it early on, but they do towards the end when rock hoppers really start clumping together, making them significantly easier to hit.
Yeah. It was nice that Nehar had the capacity then to step forward, utilise that sort of middle ground space.
Yep.
And she can dodge very well, duck really low, nice evasion tactics. If she has the space and she wants to step forward.
Yeah, well, it's just practice and confidence. And then rock hoppers clearly very comfortable in their dodging ability, and they're trying to, and they're definitely using that and trying to open up a range game wherever possible.
It's difficult,
which is playing to their advantage. It's definitely playing to their skill set and what they're capable of.
Massively. It's I think one thing they'll find tricky with the rock hoppers, it's do you focus Shumai, who is potentially the threat, or do you want to focus Nehar and put her under a lot of pressure? Double shield in there at the end.
Yeah.
2-point lead.
Yeah, it was a very, very good time for the shields. Definitely held the rock hoppers off right at the end there. As they were starting to move into that sort of like final 10-second sprint, and their shields just sort of breaking that play up. So back to our 3v3. We're into our shields game. So that minimum shields 8. Whole range of early shields I think going up from rock hoppers. Everyone on the 5-2-1 builds got some charge rate 4s on both sides there, taking the shields down. Really far back shield position again. So as far as rock hoppers, I suppose playing. Yeah, I suppose you don't need a shield on the centre line if you can't see playing on the back wall. First point on the board there for rock hoppers. Coming up towards the halfway mark. It's a real low point scorer at the moment. A lot of shields. So able to go up. Coming up on the halfway mark now. There's heavy duty shields coming up for synergy. Rock hoppers doing a very good job of getting them focused, fired and gone. But rock hopper shield taking a little bit longer than expected to take down at the centre ground. 2 points apiece. 20 seconds to play. Maybe down to like 1 or 2 shields on each side left at this point. That's the last one with Synergy's heavy duty shields gone up. 10 seconds played. 2 points apiece. This is going to go anywhere. Dangerous positioning there for Thrash on the front line, but last second there, an equalising point score. I believe that was from Shumai. So getting ready for overtime. No shields back, no life markers back. Really, really good evasion work from rock hoppers, but great cross shot there coming in. And nicely done in overtime. So let's see how we've got on the stats there. Swift taking on hit rate. Synergy taking the other categories there. KOs, shots fired, and movement. And player 2 may need a word. 37 shots fired, 0%, 0.0. So, you won, but those stats make it look like it was. I know it's not fair because obviously Nehar was shielding, and she was doing a good job. She put them in good locations. So obviously you're not looking for points scored from the shielder. That's not their role.
No, by all means, there's a few key players out there that are good at doing shields and getting some shots off at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's it's trying to learn both roles in one.
Mm-hmm.
But rock hoppers again leading the way.
Yeah, lots of it's that real focus they've got on the back line, rear placed shields, because if you're playing on the back line, you might as well place your shields towards the rear, because that's where you are.
especially for the first, give or take 40 seconds
Yeah.
of the game. It's trying to figure out who's putting up shields where and what's happening with the game.
Yep.
Because you don't want to waste shields. You don't want to shoot too many shots. You want to wait for them to put shields up so you can get their shields down.
Yeah, you got your timings right and everything.
But yeah, 10 seconds to go, 2-2. Both teams putting up their last shield, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you step forward onto that front corner and into that crossfire, and fortunately it was equivalent on the other side at pretty much the same moment. Well, obviously you redeem yourself in overtime. So.
But absolutely incredible by both teams. Good use of shields, good shield positioning, timings on shields as well. It's now a straight shootout. Who can get that last kill? And luckily, for us at least.
Yep. Yeah, and that takes it
point.
to 2 games apiece in the series. Okay, game 5, 1v1 freestyle. Shmai versus Slender. Very, very similar builds. Sort of intermittent fire coming out. And both players really need to build up some charge and get a flurry of shots out rather than these just single shots. Well, Shmai's starting to slowly chip away there on the life mark against Slender. That's the first point into synergy. So just on halfway mark. Again, good evasion, nice play. Shield to just break things up slightly. Always worth dropping shield, especially when you know your opponent's on a lower charge rate. So you can just take into those few more shots to break through. Chip away 2 life markers left in play, so that's a point on the board now for Rockhoppers. So 1 point apiece, 10 seconds to play. Trying a stronger point, and he gets it. That's 2 points to 1, 1 second left. And he even managed to get in a goal celebration. So, what's your thoughts there?
Very good by both teams. What I've noticed, I don't really get much time to watch the other leagues and the other matches, but all players with our pool, everybody's very comfortable in 1v1s. It's yes, you might be losing the game, as the Rockhoppers were down a point, but it was so calm and collected. It's like, no, I'm going to get that point, and it's going to push it really close to the end of the game, and every player's like this.
Yeah. I think people are now getting enough experience in the sport, played enough tournaments, enough matches to realise that just because you're down a point or even a couple of points, it doesn't matter. You can turn this round. The point differences have got to be quite really, really significant for you to not have the capacity to turn it around, or at least the possibility of turning it around. There's no point where it's, or almost no point where it's not worth fighting back.
Doing really good though, Shmai, saying sort of calm and collected. He's happy. He's got that point lead, but the Slender just chipping away slowly.
Yeah, nice dodging, nice evasion from both players there.
So at this point, Slender realises actually it can be done.
Be done. 1 point apiece, 10 seconds. First solid hit either way. Yep.
And without overtime as well.
I know. I mean, it was close, but yeah. So game 6. So the HADO 20. So restricted points. Rockhoppers using their own for the shield meta, and yourselves for the charge rate. Should give you the edge against the shield meta logically.
Theory, yes.
Because you're currently 3 games to 2 in the series. Rockhoppers though with the first points on the board. 25 seconds played. Going very solidly there on the back wall. Good evasion, good movement. He's stepping up to use that central shield. We've not seen him really do before. Second point on the board for Rockhoppers now. chipping away at the Sinji life mark is very effectively here. And third point in. Sinji really need to get that first point on the board and get themselves into this game. Rockhoppers is very much controlling things at this point. Fourth point on, and that's it. Sinji on the point, on the scoreboard, 2 points down. Going into the final 5 seconds. And to that point where it's theoretical, but unlikely. It's close. Closed back by 1 point, but not quite enough there. Given there that finished there 1 point down to Rockhoppers, making it 3 games apiece in this series. Yeah. So 3 games each. Match game coming up.
It's close.
So what went right? What went wrong in this one?
It was myself that was on sort of full firepower. So I'm the person on there.
Yep.
As close to the camera as possible on the right hand side. I should have been a bit more aggressive, a lot more movement on the court. Should have been able to get those few points early on, and I just wasn't able to land those key shots. And fair play to Rockhoppers chipping away slowly at our half markers just to get that key lead.
Yeah, I've got to say, it wasn't that they were. I mean, sometimes once you identify the firepower player, they get quite heavily targeted, but they're still keeping a fairly good mix of shots coming across the field. They're not particularly. There's no obvious heavy focus fire on you during this point. They're just proving really difficult to hit.
Yeah, they're very good. But I think they've used all their shields by this point. It's so now can we get those few key points? 15 seconds to get 3 points, 4 points.
There's that thing. If you've got shields and you have to use them, and using them means you have to score points whilst they're up. Otherwise, they're a wasted resource. And they've used the shields effectively. They've used that resource well, and it's given them that edge.
Very well done.
All right, here we go. Game 7, 3v3 freestyle again. No restrictions. It's currently 3 games apiece. This is the match game. So full game and match on this one. First one on board there for Synergy. Second one on for Synergy. Nicely played. I mean, Rockhoppers is still sticking with that rear wall evasion, which has been working for him so well so far. First point back on the board for Rockhoppers. That's 2 points to 1, coming up on the halfway mark. And still just that 1 point in it here. 2 points now for Synergy. Rockhoppers really need to fight back here. 3 points now. Synergy starting to get a bit of momentum going. Can they keep it up? Can they keep expanding that? Or are Rockhoppers going to be able to pull this one back into within striking range? So anything less than a 4 point lead can mean the whole game can flip in an instant, because there's always 3 points available on the other side in a 3v3. Good shield there from Synergy, breaking up that last flurry of fire from Rockhoppers. 2 points in it, 1 point in it. That was close. That was a good fight back from Rockhoppers there at the end. Again, that late shield going in from Synergy, just enough there to break up the flow of play.
It's at this point, just before the game starts, and we realise, actually, they've won 3 games, we've won 3 games, this is it.
Yep.
We step it up. We don't really have much of a choice. And we do. It's a shame that we didn't do this in all games, but this is what every player is designed to do, and I think this is exactly what they did as well. They stepped it up. But I think because we had that first key point and we got this second key point, it's pushing them on the back foot. They've got to fight back, and they do, but we just about keep them off. But with Nehar there going 1-3-5-1.
Yeah.
So she's just there just to fill the court full of bullets. Just keep that player on that left hand side nice and busy. Yeah,
I mean he's staying down and low, but I've got to say that although Nehar's keeping him low, a lot of the shots coming across from yourself and Shmai there aren't targeting low.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've got a player who's forcing him to low to ground, and then you're still firing high.
Yep. It's something we definitely do need to practice on.
Yeah. If you got it's that whole thing of she said before, the sport's still so young that a lot of these teamwork, tactics, and strategies are still being developed by the teams. But definitely, if you're using a technician to control the court, control positioning of players and what they're doing,
we need
that you need to then you've got to rely on the fact they're doing that and therefore be firing accordingly.
Yes.
But really, really good play from both teams. Fantastic evasion work from Rock Hoppers throughout in that series. So that's 4 games down, 2 games to go, still in League One of the UK Premiership from this series. Do the thing, subscribe, share, like, drop us a comment. Go play HADO. We will see you soon.